Hello, I'm Sasha of Sasha Makes Cards, and welcome to this month's YouTube hop for our Cherry on Top crafts. The theme for this month's hop is monochrome, so I am making a card featuring the new In Full Bloom collection from ACOT Paper Co. This collection is very spring themed. It has a lot of spring colors, spring imagery, and it really inspired me to get started on some spring crafting. The weather this winter has been less than desirable. There's been a lot of snow. It's been very cold. So I'm kind of hoping maybe if I start doing spring crafting with very light pastel colors with lots of flowers, maybe spring will come quicker. I can only hope. But anyways, as soon as I saw the colors in this collection, specifically, let's see here, the green on the green dark pink 12x12 paper, I knew I wanted to use this collection for the monochrome YouTube hop. I did also just use this collection for a blog post, but I really like this collection. That card, I made that card using yellow and purple. This one, of course, is just going to be all green. I also like crafting with green, using green any chance I get because it is my favorite color. Also, this collection I feel is perfect for the monochrome because there's also the matching enamel dots that come with it, so you can have the green matching cardstock or 12x12 paper and then the enamel dots. I also paired it with the Shabby Shutters Distress Oxide, which looks like it was made for this green. It goes perfectly with it, so it all tied together quite well to make this monochrome card. I first started by trimming a smaller piece from the 12x12 paper to place at the top of my card because my plan for this card was have the piece of green 12x12 paper at the top, and then the rest of it will be the Springtime's Swirls stencil that I ink blend with the Shabby Shutters. For the 12x12 paper, normally I like to use my Fiskars paper trimmer. It fits perfectly for the 12x12 papers, however, I seem to have misplaced it, and the only paper trimmer I have is my mini guillotine trimmer, which is not big enough for the 12x12. So I just used my scissors, cut off roughly a square, and then kind of marked it out with a pencil, very roughly, and then trimmed it using my mini guillotine trimmer. For the rest of the background, I used the Springtime Swirls stencil and ink blended it with the Shabby Shutters Distress Oxide. I used the green 12x12 paper that I trimmed kind of as a guideline to where my stencil will end at the top because it doesn't make sense to ink blend the entire card background, as a bit of it is going to be covered by the paper. So I put down the stencil and started ink blending, making it darker at the top, fading it out to white at the bottom. I then removed the stencil and did the same thing where I ink blended darker green at the top and faded it out to white at the bottom. After that, I used the Springtime Flowers die set, die cut it from some pieces of scrap white cardstock using my Spellbinders Platinum Scout to act as a little accent on the card. I really like this die set. I also used this for the card I made for the Cherry blog. I think this might just be one of my new favorite die sets. I'll probably be using it quite a bit. But for this card, I die cut it in the white, and then I got out my paper inking palette thing from Picket Fence. Hold on, what is it called? I forget. Yes, a paper inking palette from Picket Fence Studios to put the die cut pieces on them to make it easier to ink blend. I was originally going to ink blend all of the pieces of the flower. However, I just decided to ink blend the stem with the Shabby Shutters Distress Oxide and then leave the flowers and the little bow white. I think that makes the most sense, and I really liked how it ended up looking. This die set also includes tiny little centers to glue or to die cut and glue onto the middle of your flowers. They are so tiny, and I also don't know where my wax pickup tool is right now, which is normally what I would glue them down with. So I decided to not die cut those and instead just dot the centers of the flowers on. For this, I found a marker that actually matches the Shabby Shutters Distress Oxide really well. I used the Tombow dual brush pen 133. This one is from the Bright pack, and just put a little dot in the middle of the flowers. After that, I just glued it together with my Barely Art glue just to make sure I didn't lose any of the pieces. And then I stamped a quick sentiment. I used the Sending Spring Hugs stamp set and stamped the sentiment, "Oh Happy Day," with a nice little dotted circle going around it. I didn't actually realize when I pulled the stamp off that the dotted circle was separate from the sentiment, but it was, so I just put them together. But I stamped that using the Honeybee Stamps Intense Black ink, cut it using my spring assisted scissors, and then started to glue everything down onto my card. Again, I used the Barely Art glue. I glued down the green piece that I cut from the 12x12 paper onto the card first. Then I glued down the little floral bouquet as well as the sentiment. I then also got out the enamel dots and used 3 of the green enamel dots to place somewhere around the sentiment and bouquet of flowers just to add a bit more green. And again, it's perfect for the monochrome because it goes so well with the 12x12 paper. I didn't know exactly where I wanted to put the 12x12, not the 12x12, the enamel dots at first, so they kind of shifted around, but once I figured out the placement, they were good to go. Yet another tool that I seem to have misplaced. I couldn't find my regular tweezers while I was making this card, so I tried using this pair of reverse tweezers, I think is what they're called, that I have. I think I've only used them maybe once. I was going to say once or twice. I think I've only used them once. I find them so hard to use. So I was trying to use them for the enamel dots. It wasn't going well, so I ended up just using my fingers. Hopefully next time I can find my tweezers so things go a little bit smoother. And that's the completed card project. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the description for a complete list of all the design team members participating in this hop, and to hop along for a chance to win a $25 gift card to shop at a Cherry on Top Crafts. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.